The U.S. Justice Department says it's willing to consider one of Donald Trump's nominees for the special master position to review documents seized from his Florida home. Separately, another 40 subpoenas have been issued in the investigation into the former president's bid to overturn the 2020 election results. The accommodation on the DOJ's part could clear the way for the appointment of a neutral arbiter to review the material after both sides initially suggested rival candidates, although it remains to be seen if the judge handling the request, U.S. District Judge Alan Cannon, would approve the Trump team selection. Well, for more of these developments, let's bring in Arise U.S. correspondent Eric Ham, who joins us from Washington. Good to see you, Eric. So Donald Trump's candidate for special master gets the approval of the Department of Justice. Tell us more about this candidate.
This is an individual who was selected by President Ronald Reagan to serve on the bench. He's now actually retired, Charles, and serves in a senior capacity. Here's something also that is of note, and I think that will be very interesting about this individual. He is also one of the people who was a member of the FISA court, the Foreign Intelligence Court, where, of course, he also approved a special wiretap on one of Donald Trump's individual members who served on his campaign. So while he is seen as someone who the Trump team would actually support, he's not necessarily someone who is necessarily Team Trump. As we know, he has been very engaged and involved both in the efforts to examine, in fact, what happened during and leading up to Donald Trump's election to president and Russia interference in the 2016 election. And also, we know that he has been someone who has served on the court admirably for quite some time.
So, Eric, you know a lot about these things. We're the ignorant ones from abroad. What problems do you now foresee with this Trump case and the issue of a special master going forward?
Well, Charles, at this time, it's not exactly clear that we're going to see a special master. Remember, the Justice Department has requested a stay from this judge, actually asking for a carve out specifically on these 100 documents that are top secret classified, saying that these are documents that do not need a special master to go through them. So what they are asking is to actually set aside these documents, that they do not need a special master, and allow the Department of Justice to continue its investigation within those documents, and then willing to say, okay, these other documents that are not classified, that are not top secret, that do not involve national security, we are okay with allowing a special master to look through these, even though the Department of Justice has already had a filter team go through them. So what we're seeing now is clearly the Justice Department is trying to split the hairs on this. But if, in fact, a judge decides to allow a special master to look at all of these documents, what we're seeing here is this judge is someone who has the top secret security clearance, having served as a member of the FISA court, and is someone who can actually go through this. And Charles, just very quickly, I'll add, a special master is actually not something out of the norm. In fact, we know right now a special master is looking at many of the documents involving Donald Trump's former election lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. And there was also a special master that was actually put in place to look through many documents that involved Donald Trump's other former lawyer, Michael Cohen. So clearly, when it comes to a lot of these cases, particularly involving Donald Trump, we have seen special masters involved in these cases in the past.
And briefly, Eric, if the judge approves this, can this special master candidate of Donald Trump expect not just lots of heat, but considerable opposition from the Justice Department as he tries to do his job? I mean, will they be bucking heads with the DOJ?
Well, what we are seeing now from the Department of Justice, they are actually asking for a window of no more than 30 days for this process to be completed. The Trump lawyers are asking for at least 90 days. So based on that, what it appears as though the Justice Department will give free rein to allow the special master to do their job, but they want it done quickly. And of course, Donald Trump and his lawyers, they're actually buying for as much time as possible.
Well, let's move away briefly from the special master and talk about those 40 subpoenas that have been issued in the investigation into Mr. Trump's bid to overturn the 2020 election results. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, Charles, we're now learning that in the matter of weeks, more than 40 subpoenas have gone out to Trump associates involved in either the Trump White House, the Trump campaign, or even part of Donald Trump's current political activities with his political action committee. And so what we are now learning is that they have seized a number of phone records, cell phones, and other technological data relating to and leading up to January 6th. Some of the individuals are some of the most closest to Donald Trump, including Bill Stepien, who ran his campaign, as well as other key individuals in the Trump orbit. And Charles, what we are seeing here is the Justice Department is moving very aggressively. And what's of note is, even though there is a DOJ memo that says that the Department of Justice will not get involved in their investigations 60 days out from a presidential election, what we're learning from these subpoenas is that clearly this was an effort to try to gather as much information and speed up this investigation right until that 60-day cutoff. And now what we're looking at now is that the Justice Department will probably go dark between now and the midterm elections. But clearly they have more than enough information to actually continue this investigation until after the midterm. So expect many, developments post the midterm elections.
A man who knows the turf very well indeed. Eric, thanks very much indeed. Eric Ham, Arise US correspondent, talking to me there from Washington.